Hey guys, it's Heather, the Crochet Witch. How are you guys doing? So I'm finally getting back to my hashtag movie and stitch movies. I am starting tonight with H. So we are doing Halloween, not just any Halloween, but my personal favorite, a Rob Zombie Halloween. This film is, to the best of my knowledge, not on any, I don't think it's on Netflix. I'm not sure. If anybody knows, feel free to leave it in the comments below. So if you guys want to watch along, that's cool, because I really love this movie. I love this version of this movie. I love Michael Myers, but we'll get into it later. I love this version. I have a couple of the squares that I've started for my project and my yarn ready. The candle that I have tonight is, I believe it's called Almond Blossom. My favorite Bath & Body Works candle that surprisingly isn't a fall scent is called just Almond. And Almond Blossom was out this year instead, and it's amazingly similar, as you may suspect. So I have that going in my bat candle holder. And yeah, so we're just gonna get started. I'll come back and talk to you guys about it later. That, by the way, this gentleman with me right here is one of the best guitarists on the planet. If you like rock music, make sure you check out Fozzy. That's Rich Ward. You won't be sorry. You can thank me later. And yeah, that was a side note, but anywho, I'll just talk to you guys after the fact, and we'll review the movie if you haven't seen it, and I'll let you know what I'm about to double feature tonight for my iMovie, even though I probably won't upload it at the same night. Alright, I'll talk to you guys after. Bye, guys. Hey guys, so we have watched Halloween. Sorry, by the way, if the air conditioner is in because it's hot. It's really hot now. It was 90 some degrees, which where you live, maybe it gets hotter than that. I'm well aware that it gets hotter than high 80s, low 90s, but for me, that is my dream weather is 60s, as I'm sure probably is for several people. So I know I can't be alone there. but I know it gets a lot hotter. I know it does. But I was dying today. Everybody at the house is dying. So the air conditioner's in. So if it was really loud, I'm sorry. It's near my desk where I watch the movies. So my little intros this summer might be a little drowned out just for that little bit. I did turn the fan off that I keep by the desk just because I knew that added to the air conditioner was going to be loud. But anywho, here I go droning on to begin with. So, as you already know, the movie for my H movie that I picked was Halloween. Now, I could have picked, with Friday the 13th, there was a plethora of movies. There was, 9 or 10 original franchise movies, and then Rob Zombie did 2 movies, which I had pulled out both of them to do, but since I'm so far behind in my videos period and in this set of videos, I didn't want to watch both right now. I do want to, but I didn't because of time. But yeah, so I picked the first one, which I believe, if I remember right, was out in 2007? Yeah, 2007 is the copyright on here, and I believe that is when it was released, not just filmed. But this is the first of the 2. Let me start out by saying, if you want to watch along with this, I'm doing all horror movies, so if you're sensitive to horror movies in general, this might not be the movie for you at all to try out to start with. And B, this is, some of the horror movies that I've watched are a PG or a PG-13 rating, I'm quite sure. This one is most definitely not. This one, 100%, I knew before I even looked, this has an R rating. If there was something, I know the 80s had like the X rating, which I just watched some 80s trivia, so I know that's when the X rating was around, was the 80s. But like, and probably before that. But I mean, I think they phased out of that more in the 80s and changed it to like NC-17s and all that kind of stuff. But like, if regular movies had a higher ranking, this would probably have it. Like, I don't know if NC-17, what is NC-17 like a more harsh rating than R? I think it is. I think, I'm not an expert at that, but I'm surprised this doesn't have a higher rating if there is one. Don't watch this if you're sensitive to stuff, you guys. I'm just saying. But if you're not sensitive to it, and if you just want a good recommendation from me, do watch this. Like, I love this. I'm gonna tell you why. Because, like, first of all, I myself am not sensitive to gore. Like, when I watch horror, I do want to watch it for like the scare and not the gore. I wouldn't say like I'm a gore fan, but I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me like at all. And this is gory, so don't think you're getting away from that just because I'm a scare person and not a gore person, because there's gore in this aplenty. But so I'm trying to like get all the warnings out just in case you guys might at all be upset or sensitive to it. If there's any question, err on the side of caution, please. But otherwise, it's amazing. Because eventually I am going to stop giving warnings here and just tell you how much I love it. So like, please take these warnings right now with a grain of salt that I'm giving, because yeah, I promise that's going to end, because I'm going to drone about this. I really do love this. I love Rob Zombie as a director. Like, I love Rob Zombie, period. I'm a big fan of his movie making, but I'm also a big fan of his music. So like, you're never probably ever going to hear me say anything bad about Rob Zombie. But I won't go off on that tangent. I promise I'll try not to, except for his movie, because we're talking about that. Well, anywho, so the movie does have a lot of gore in it, and it is R-rated. But what I really love about this, so I'm going to assume, if you're going to consider watching this, that you've already seen like the original Halloween, at least the original one, if not multiple movies in the series, from the original franchise. So like, with that in mind, I'll say we all probably know the story of Michael Myers, and like in general as it was portrayed there. But like, what you don't see in as much detail as this film has is the origins of Michael Myers. Like, this film goes into very graphic detail, his upbringing as a child. The first 30 minutes of this movie is like child Michael Myers, and dealing with things in his life, and possibly answers as to why Michael became the way Michael was. And like, I don't want to say that you feel sorry for him, but you kind of do, because I mean, he's a kid. He's a kiddo in this movie at the beginning of it, you know, and then he does bad stuff, and then you feel probably less sorry for him. But but yeah, and then it's very graphic how he becomes Michael, obviously. But I don't even know why I said that, because like, obviously Michael is one of the slasher kings, right, of the 80s horror. Like, for me, there's probably just 3 slasher kings, which is obviously Jason, obviously Michael, and then Freddy. I know there's others, you know, like but Jeepers Creepers, I don't think he came around until the 90s. There was Pumpkinhead in the 80s, and then of course there was all the other little random, like the Ghoulies and things like that. But like, as far as like slasher kings, unless you guys can think of somebody that I've missed, which I'll feel stupid for missing probably. Like, he's definitely one of the top 3 for sure. But anywho, so this movie deals a lot with his childhood, a lot. And like, one of the reasons that I love Rob Zombie is like, he's so detail orientated with like his directing and his movie sets and everything, and like the feel of everything, and it isn't even just this movie, I will say, because like I still need to get The Lords of Salem, which is one of his movies, obviously. But other than that, I believe at this moment in time I own all of Rob Zombie's other movies, and I love every single one of them because like this movie was taking place, especially during Michael's childhood, it was taking place in the 70s, and it was taking place in the fall. And like I don't know about you personally if you've seen it, but like I really felt like I was in the 70s in the fall. And like I'm pretty sure that I read that this movie was directed in like California, but like it was supposed to take place in Indiana. And I felt like I was in Indiana. Like there was like the changing leaves, the falling leaves. There was, I know that it's every movie's job to make you feel a part of it, but like Rob Zombie really does that. Like the costumes, the scenery, the everything, just, I don't know, everything tied together. Like I didn't catch anything out of place. Like what? No, that wouldn't be there in the 70s, or, you know, like it was just like amazing to me. Like I thought it was genuinely well put together. And like now going through all of his movies, like I've come to like appreciate and expect more of him because I've seen previous movies starting here. Because I think Halloween was his first movie. It was at least the first movie I've seen of his as a director. But you see that in all of his movies. So like I've really come to appreciate how good he is at that. So like I cannot suggest enough Rob Zombie movies to you guys, like if you don't mind the R-ratedness, because I'm pretty sure every single one is probably R-ratedness. But yeah, I'm not gonna dwell too long on the rest of the movie, but like past his childhood, because like basically once you get into the childhood, into why he got incarcerated to begin with, and into the fact that he broke out of jail and started his reign as the boogeyman, then it's more following the line of the franchise that we all know and love. So that's very Michael Myers-esque already. So I'm not going to get too into that. But yeah, so I've already said this, but I highly recommend it. Sherry Moon Zombie plays Michael's mother, who's his wife, which I guess we're kind of getting into the trivia part now. So I'm just going to say that was part of my plan. I didn't actually write this fact down because I wasn't planning to say it. I don't know why I just blurted it out, but Sherry Moon Zombie is Rob Zombie's wife. She plays Michael's mom. She's, as far as I can remember, she's in every single one of his movies as one character or another. Like I had read somewhere in the trivia that he cast her as Michael's mom because she's like pretty tall for, I guess, a girl. I don't know how tall she is, but so he wanted to use that to explain why Michael got so tall. But I don't even think that's a true fact because he casts her in like every single movie. Not that I'm saying he shouldn't, because she's phenomenal. I super love her, but anyway, so I'm going to pretend that was my segue into the trivia portion, because you guys know I like my trivia and my facts about this movie. I have a couple. One, the guy that played Michael Myers, who in this movie is Tyler Mane, was the tallest guy to ever play Michael Myers. And the guy in this movie was 6'9". So like maybe in other movies they did like camera angles and whatnot, but this guy is a giant. He's 6'9". So I thought that was pretty interesting. Another interesting fact is in the beginning when they talk about Michael's upbringing and childhood, he had this part of the reason why it was as R-rated as it was because of this character. I mean, it was because of all the characters, let's be honest, but I mean, this guy was a doozy. Michael's, I don't know if his mom married this guy, so I don't want to say stepfather, but the father figure in his life, who was played by William Forsythe, if you know who that is. That guy was a doozy. Anyway, so during the movie, this guy was really badly, like the character was really badly beaten up. Not in the movie, like he was introduced as already like beaten up, and that was part of his like insecurities. Part of his problems was that he was already like broken. Like his arm was broken, his leg was broken. He was like in, I don't know, not a body cast, but he was like one step from it basically. And that was the whole like argument at one point between him and Michael's mom, was trying to like omit like a lot of the cussing and the bad parts for you guys, but like a lot of it was, you know, you're not making any money, and he's like, well, I'm broken up over here, you know, and he raises his broken arm and all this stuff. So he's very badly broken up was the point. But apparently the actor William Forsythe, his leg was already broken and in a cast before he started filming, so they had to adjust the character for that. So that's how the character became so like broken up. Originally he was only in like an arm brace, so because the actor was actually hurt, they changed it around, and instead of just changing it to his leg, they made the guy like really messed up. So just thought that was interesting. Another fact, you guys know I like my rock and roll, so I'm just saying, the gun salesman. So in the movie, there's a gun salesman who sells Dr. Loomis, who's Michael's longtime like psychiatrist. Dr. Loomis at one point gets, like when Michael's on the loose and feels he has to like protect Michael's little sister from Michael finding her and killing her or stealing her or doing something really bad to her, he goes to buy a gun, and the guy that sells him the gun is played by the drummer for the Monkees, Mickey Dolenz. Just an interesting fact that Rob Zombie threw in some musical presence like where he could. I thought that was pretty cool. And then the last fact I had, which I should have probably already known, but I thought I was like surprised by it, I guess. But this was actually the first movie that had Michael Myers in a speaking part at all. In the original franchise, there was at the time 8 movies, but I think there's 9 or 10 of them now. But when this fact was put out, there was 8 movies of the original franchise, and he never spoke a word. I think that's because the only speaking parts he had in this was his childhood. After, like, when he was an adult, he didn't speak either. And there was, like, a certain, like, turning point in his childhood where he stopped speaking. So, but there was, his childhood up until this point was normal and, you know, all that good stuff. So, but yeah, he was the first speaking Michael Myers. So there is your trivia. And then before we get to the yarn, which is why you're here, right? It's why you're here. My reveal for my iMovie, getting ahead of myself, I need to catch up to Jay. My iMovie is going to be Insidious, which I'm going to have to insert a picture for here because I thought I had it, so I was going to be able to just show you the DVD, and apparently I don't have it. So I did find it. It is on Netflix currently as we're speaking in June of 2021. Is on Netflix. So if you do want to watch along over the next, hopefully I'll be releasing the video for that over this next week here, so I can try to catch up. But it is on Netflix. So the original Insidious 1, I'm gonna watch, and that's my movie, my horror movie for that letter, which is I. So on to the yarn. So some people have been doing like a square that referenced the movie that they were watching. Some people have been doing like little amigurumis per movie. Some people have been doing one big project, which is what I'm doing. Some people have been just finishing up projects, I think, during it. I'm not really sure. But so what I have been doing is making a Halloween blanket that I have been meaning to make for a while. So I figured this was a good time to make it during this movie make-along. So the main part of the squares that I'm making with this Karen Jumbo, which to me is, I've said this before, but it is like everything Halloween that I could want is this Karen Jumbo color. It's called Plum Copper, but it is got a couple different shades of purples, and then it's got this like rusty copper orange in it. And it's gorgeous. It's kind of floppy. And this is already my second one too. I think I only have like one more. Oh, I hope I have one more. So I thought I had one more right there, but I'm gonna have to check and see, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need another one. But we'll see how that goes. I'll update you next time, I guess. But yeah, so that's the main body. And then residing in this here smaller Bon Jovi 2020 bag are the like outside colors that I thought were just Halloween-y. This one is called Violet, and it is a Big Twist classic. And it's like almost like a dark, like a neon rainbow purple. Rainbow, like a neon purple, I mean, but it's like dark neon. And then this one is also a Big Twist classic, and it is just in the color orange, I believe. It's either orange or pumpkin, which I think this was on clearance. I have said in previous videos that they had this one. I'm not sure about this one. These might have both went on clearance at Joann's, so I'm not sure about the fate of these right now. And then I had this one, which was discontinued a while ago, which was a Big Twist Rainbow, it was called. But it is in the color lime, and it's basically the same yarn. So I'm just using it together, and all I'm really doing is using these as border colors anyway, so I hope the one skein of each ends up just being enough. If I have enough, I'm gonna do something on the border with these also, but we'll have to see what I have, especially if they're discontinuing the other colors. And then, okay, so I had these squares previously done, and like every single square has these lines, like it pulls right there just on two sides, and the other two sides look different. Every single square is like that. So I had these two already, and then what I got done during this movie was only these two purple line squares, because I got distracted a little bit and got into the movie also. So I got two squares done this time. And then the blanket that I have already done, I am doing just a continuous join, and I've already started doing that because every so often when I get some squares done, I start joining them. And I'm just using this Red Heart with Love in black because I have an abundance of this. And so far, I have it like this. Let me see which side is the longer side. This side is longer. So I just hold it up like that. But here's how it's looking so far. So the next time I will probably make two other squares, and then I'll start joining those. But it's like 6 squares wide. And that's how it's looking so far. I have some applique ghosts that I've been making also that are currently, of course, not with me because I'm super prepared. But I'm making that with also a Red Heart with Love metallic in white, just because I figured like shiny iridescent would look cool, and in my opinion it does. It's just like a ghost applique that I had found online. I'll try to remember to link it down below, or it is in one of my previous videos linked, I'm quite sure, when I did actually show it when I was prepared. So that is everything that I have. If you want to check out other people's videos while you're waiting for my next one, the blue hashtag for the movie and stitch, if you click on that, it should show everybody's who's still participating. There's quite a few people doing it. And yeah, so I will get back to you soon with my new movie with Insidious, and then I will reveal my J movie, and hopefully the new movie won't be out by then, the new letter, and hopefully I will be caught up. So thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you guys later. I love you. Mwah. Bye, guys.